Cut the music. I forgot one final thing. Chris, my friend, I was just kidding.
What?
I would never join the Inner Circle.
What?
It's a stupid group. You have nothing that I want. Except for that.
Oh, you spread the bottle of champagne over Jericho's head.
And the paradigm shift of the
Oh,
show beyond.
God. Sammy's just got pile driven out of his boots. Jon Moxley has duped Jericho in the Inner Circle. Jon Moxley owns the most expensive car in America. Yes.
Good morning, good afternoon, good night from wherever you are. This is the War Report. I am your host, Murjani Rawls, and of course I'm always joined by my esteemed colleague, Cyrus. Cyrus, what is going on, man? How are you feeling?
I'm feeling much better than I have in the past 2 weeks. Recovery is going well, but you know, wrestling is wrestling, and you know that's always like a little weird. It's a weird place to be.
Well, we're in a. I mean,
nobody's ever truly happy.
Well, we're in a new year, and a lot has gone on. Two nights of Wrestlekingdom just happened. Did you watch Wrestlekingdom live? Did you watch it afterwards? Did you kind of like piece through some of the matches?
Due to my sleep schedule being destroyed, I checked out some matches. Of course, I had to check out matches from our AEW team. So I did see I saw Jericho, Tanahashi, Archer, Moxley, and I saw the main event with Naito and Okada.
So what do you think about our AEW cohorts, and how did you think? First of all, how did you think Moxley did? First against Archer in the first night, and then Juice in the second night. He did regain the IWGP US title, even though, again, it's kind of baffling to me because he can't defend it in the US. So it's like, how do you...
The literal purpose of the title, he cannot defend it. Obviously, I think it was a bad move. I think Lance Archer or Juice Robinson, people who could perform in the States, obviously deserve that title, or should be holding that title. I thought the match with Archer was bad. It was a lot of walking spot to spot. Just we're gonna do a little strikes, and then we're gonna walk over to a thing, do a spot, and then rinse and repeat. I missed the Juice Robinson match, but I think Juice Robinson probably should have won there, especially since he's going to be on the United States tour. Probably should have had a champion there, because I think there is literally 0 champions on the tour. Yeah, Moxley. I don't think Moxley and Archer don't blend well together. If you listen to the G Show earlier last year, me and Justin, we thought Lance Archer improved 7-folds, and he didn't really go crazy this time around.
Oh yeah, I definitely think that coming out of the G1 last year, Lance Archer was the one who, especially with that Will Ospreay match that he had, his stock rose. And I think when he won, the U.S. belt the first time, I was like, fine, good, they're rewarding him. You know what I mean? You could finally you could finally have somebody that you could defend it with, on U.S. shows, especially with this expansion that's coming on. They're doing a New Beginning tour, and in Atlanta, and I think they're coming near you too. So
oh, I'm not going to that show. I seen the card. I think I could go without.
But so that was kind of a baffling move for me. I did see the Juice match. I liked it a little bit better than I liked the Archer match. Mox tends to, I mean, a lot of G1 stuff that he did, it tended to go to more hardcore match. That's kind of like what his strong suit is. So Juice, that was a little bit more of a wrestling match. And I mean, I think Juice did the best that he could there. I think Mox did the best that they could. And he won. So how about that tease with Mox versus Minoru Suzuki?
It's a dream match for a lot of people, so I'm glad they're getting that. For me personally, I'm not really, going crazy for it, but I think it would be a cool match. Hopefully,
I want to see this match. I think that it would be better suited for them if they could have did it on like U.S. soil. Granted, because because Mox has the U.S. title, but the prospect of Minoru winning that title and being the U.S. title and coming over here more is pretty dope. But then again, if Minoru wins it, it becomes like the never open weight title where they play like hot potato with a lot, and I don't. You're with a conundrum because now Mox can only be there as much as he can with that title, but like you have to establish some sort of prestige with it. So maybe giving Minoru something to do and him having the title would be pretty cool.
It's good. Yeah.
So like real quick,
I would love it.
Real quick, Jericho Tanahashi.
The match was awful. I think I've been saying it in I don't think I ever said it on the podcast. I think I only said it in closed doors. That whole Tanahashi might get a AEW title match. Like, boy,
smokescreen. It was a smokescreen.
Like, they were just like, everybody's like reporting like, oh man, everybody was like getting really excited. They're just like, oh my god, we might get Tanahashi in AEW. Oh my god, blah blah blah. And I was just like, you see Tanahashi tap, and I was just like, yeah, AEW is like just making themselves look good because you just look at it, look at it on paper, and you're just like, what does New Japan really gain from doing anything with AEW? What do they get from sending Tanahashi out there to Dynamite, and it's just like nothing.
Well, here's the thing with that. I didn't think that Jericho could lose because, one, him and Mox have signed separate deals with New Japan, right? Jericho has lost a lot in New Japan. So in order for him to be an attraction and kind of like this big star where you keep on having him on Wrestlekingdoms, he has to win a match at some point. Now, I'm surprised that he won against, the ace there, Tanahashi. I think the best thing about this match was Tanahashi mocking him in a promo and like doing that whole rock thing.
Yeah.
I think go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I just think it's really funny that everybody's just like, oh man, Jericho and Tony Khan doing the whole thing where it's just like, oh, we signed off on a title match. Like, yeah, man, if Tanahashi wins, and Tanahashi's just like, yeah, I'll do the job, bro. You ain't got to do all that. I'll tap out.
Yeah, creatively, I don't even know how that really even factors because if you're Jericho, of course, you're the AEW champion, but you have a separate deal with New Japan. So does he even have to consult with Tony about this? You know what I mean? Because it's a whole separate thing. The point about the whole AEW and New Japan working together, that was drummed up by one person. Let's be honest. There's one person in particular who came out and beat the drums with that. If you kind of know what the history, there's still bad blood between both Kenny, the Young Bucks, and New Japan. I don't think it was really smart for them to do that YouTube video a week prior Wrestle Kingdom and airing out their bad blood there. Let's start there. I do understand from reading that Kenny and the Young Bucks do have the option to go back to New Japan that they wanted, but New Japan has not, kind of ventured into that as an option. So I'm like, how are they going to bridge? I mean, people are pointing out, okay, New Japan doesn't have a U.S. TV deal, but at the same time, there's so people are so devoted to New Japan World. Do you really even need a TV deal at this point for them? It doesn't really work. It doesn't really work. And also, I think that even with a partnership, New Japan has expanded on their own. You know what I mean? They're doing U.S. shows, and for AOW to kind of like want New Japan talent, I think that's a Band-Aid for the issues that they're having with their mid-cards anyway. You have to fix that on your own. You can't. Partnerships are great, but look at ROH. Like, when New Japan not sending talent over there, you see that it's glaring. You know what I mean? Like, the hole is huge.
Real cracks.
So, like, you can only do so much. AOW has to fix their problems on their own first. New Japan doesn't really gain that much.
Yes, and people that think otherwise is insane. Like, AEW trying to, like, get New Japan talent on their shows, and you have yet to see, like, you only seen Sonny Kiss once on TV.
Yeah, we actually saw him this week in passing.
Yeah, you've seen Jimmy Havoc probably twice. They just started putting Kip Sabian on the show. You haven't seen the Hybrid 2 in a while. You know, it's crazy how they're trying to, like, literally trying to Band-Aid their problems. And I don't think New Japan is going to fix it because they don't have a women's division. So
yeah, it's not like, even though Bushiroad owns Stardom, I doubt that. Like, and AOW has some Stardom talent. Like, I don't know if they're going to really, like, partner up like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if they're going to be sending, Julia or, Hana Kimura over to AOW.
Yeah, definitely not. Also, people thinking that New Japan, like, owns Stardom, and now, like, Stardom does whatever New Japan wants is, like, kind of crazy, but that's its own story and issue. Just for Wrestlekingdom, I thought the shows were okay. People are already saying it's show of the year. It's damn January. Come on, guys. Like, you guys do this all the time. But it was a good show. I thought Moxley had a good showing with Juice Robinson, and that's about it.
Yeah, I mean, the A-Show guys touched on it. Naito's my boy, so of course I'm happy that he, won the Double Dash, even though I still feel like me and like you and I have talked about it off screen. This is 2 years too late. You could see that Naito was broken down. You know what I mean? Like, it was kind of sad to see. I'm like, yay, he finally got his moment, but he can't go like he used to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I thought Ospreay and Hiromu was amazing. I'm glad that Hiromu is back, and that the fact that he is the junior champion there. Of course, with Jushin Thunder Liger retiring, all-time great. It was great too. I mean, all in all, I thought everything was great. I mean, Ibushi losing twice. I would have booked that, especially with him winning the G1. But
well, winning the G1 doesn't mean jack shit.
It doesn't
anymore. I'm not the biggest Ibushi fan. Sorry, guys. I'm not like crazy infatuated like everybody else is. But him losing twice, like when I saw a clip of him losing to Jay White, I was just like, hey, bro, what are you doing?
I knew Jay White was going to get his G1 win back. I knew it.
Yeah. Well, which is I don't know. Like, cool but not cool. Like, during the G1, I thought Jay White was like, I wasn't a big fan at first. You know, he was, you know, still kind of like weird. They were working the quirks out. But I thought he looked fantastic in defeat. Mm-hmm. Like just a cowardly heel that, you know, rightfully lost, you know, due to his own hubris and stuff like that. But boy, when he started going undefeated in the G1, I was just like, hey, bro, what are you doing? And then, whatever, he wins. I do like Jay White, but Ibushi losing twice here, my man looking silly out there.
And now he's in a tag with Tanahashi. So
yeah,
I guess going against Finjuice or Gorillas of Destiny.
Talk about in somebody's shadow again, in purgatory again.
Oh, real quick before we move on to the shows, our former NXT cohort Kenta.
Oh boy,
how do you feel? Because listen, I had two schools of thought here. Initially, I hated it. I was like, "What? You just can't." Ghetto's like, you just can't give Naito his moment. He just at all. You know what I mean? Like it's
he was ready to cut Naito at the knees, bro. Like, god damn.
But if you're gonna put Kenta over as a heel, that was the way to do it. It was just weird because he just lost the never open weight title about a couple hours before that. So it was like he lost the title. You fail upward in New Japan. He loses the title, and now he's going for the double title for New Beginning.
And he's going for both titles, not just one. And even Naito is just like, that's stupid. But I think Kenta's going to lose anyway, so whatever. But Kenta failing upwards and challenging for both titles, getting an opportunity to be a double champion, already, you know, kind of like downgrading Naito's success. Insane. I thought it was a cool segment. I did like when Kenta sat on his chest, crisscrossing. He had like both titles in hand. I thought that was a really cool shot. LIJ is never there when Naito gets beat up. Like some of the most unreliable pals you could ever have.
Bro, 5 other members. Then Bushi
came out.
Bushi comes out like well after Kenta does the pose with the titles. Like Kenta's sitting there for like 3 minutes, and it's like Bushi's like, "Whoa, wait a minute, whoa, we gotta go help him."
Are you for real? Like, you could at least, you know, have Bullet Club come out with Kenta, and, you know, let LIJ get beat down, so it kind of like makes sense. Because like Naito's getting beat up for a really long time, and I'm just like, man, you know, Shingo like handle this motherfucker right now. Like, one pump and bomber, and like Kenta's dead.
You know, I saw an interesting stat. Kenta actually last year had about 66 matches in New Japan last year, which is incredible because I know like he was injury prone at our beloved NXT, and then he came and kind of rebuilt himself a little bit. I don't think that he was. I think people hated him in the G1 as just Kenta, but as he turned into this heel, like people were starting to like him a little bit more.
Yeah. My thing is that, like, you know, I'm glad he's healthy and, you know, he could perform these matches and he hasn't been injured at all. Like, I think that's fantastic. But, like, man, imagine if he was this durable in NXT and, you know, everything came into fruition and, you know, he became NXT champion and all that stuff happened. Like, that probably would have been great. I don't know what it is about New Japan, but he's healthy over there, and I think that's great.
All right, we gotta
now the shows we actually have to cover.
The shows that we gotta cover. Of course, we're gonna do some NXT UK Takeover Blackpool 2 predictions because we got a show on Sunday. Not Saturday.
Kind of snuck up on me.
Yeah, it was like, oh, it's coming up. But of course, we got AOW Dynamite and NXT. Let's start off with AOW Dynamite first, because I'm pretty sure there's a lot that we kind of want to talk about getting into the show. What'd you think of the shows overall first?
Each show overall?
Yeah, just brief before we get into them in a little bit.
I think NXT came strong, being like the first like live episode of 2020. I like that they had Austin Theory and Joaquin Wilde. Like you know, they didn't give up on like, you know, featuring new talent. And I think it was kind of, I'm going to say it's risky, but I do think it's really cool that, you know, Austin Theory is, like, back out there. Like, I guess he's, like, you know, good enough to go. Because usually it takes, like, people, like, a really long time to, like, you know, be TV ready or just, like, NXT ready. Or, like, you know, they really like to take their time with that. I think it's really cool. I think it was a really good show for 2020. AEW, Jesus Christ. If you like, I will say, I like how people are I think people like hit their threshold, where they're just like now they want to point out the flaws. Like like there's no more. Just give them some time. You know, they're branching out. They're brand new. Like I think people are like past that now, and like people are like actually like vocal about stuff that we've been vocal about since November. And I've been saying for a really long time, what is this product gonna look like December or, you know, January, the start of next year? And it's shaky, it's rocky, and you know, I will say that AEW does listen to their fans. But sometimes there is just some stuff that they are stubborn about. Jesus Christ.
All right. Before we start the show, what I'm going to do is, because I don't want to go all cornet on certain segments here, so I'm going to try to give suggestions. Now, I'm going to put this disclaimer out there to everybody. I am not a booker. I am not Kevin Sullivan. I am not Kevin Nash. I'm not even Vince Russo.
Like you don't have to be a booker. You just like you're just be a consumer, and it's just like you can like you know like what is like what would be good for you, you know, or like what would make, you know, you like the show. And you know, I'm not an AEW hater. Like, I do want them to do well, and when they do well, I do like it. But it's just been a while since they've done, you know, done right by me.
Okay. Let's get this segment out of the way, because this is the one that grinded my gears the most.
Well, I think it kind of killed everybody.
Like I said, there was a report that came out, PW Insider, that we read, that Tony Khan is very heavily involved in setting up these segments. Like a lot of the men, he's the Vince McMahon of AEW. I mean, he's the head owner, obviously. Kenny and the Bucks obviously have a little bit of freedom. If you watched AEW, Cody's segments are very different. Kenny's are very different. They're kind of booked in their own bubble a little bit. Now, the women, I mean, allegedly is booked by Kenny, and
he's getting a lot of flack for it.
Let's just get into this Chris Statlander and Riho thing, okay? First off, Brandy is on commentary. She states off the bat that she's not interested in this match.
Why have her there?
That took me I'm like, okay, so if she's not interested, why am I even watching this? They held go ahead.
Just her talking crap to Excalibur on commentary.
She calls him Exhibit.
Yeah. It reminds me of like when Booker and Corey Graves will just go at it during a match, and it's just like, you guys are like completely like distracting me from this. Like, you guys are like being children right now. Like, shut up. Excalibur's trying to do his thing, and then she's just like, oh, I bet you don't take that mask off ever. And it's just like, all right, 5-year-old. Like, these childish insults, and like Excalibur's kind of like no-selling it, giving her very serious answers and stuff like that. Jim Ross is like, I think, I don't remember him saying anything during this whole thing.
No, he didn't.
Tony Schiavone trying his best to like get stuff out of Brandy, and she's not really dealing with it.
Yeah, they're trying to rein it in, and like in the midst of all this, Chris and Riho are trying to have a match, and it's fine.
Okay, it is okay.
It's fine. It's a fine match. Then the Nightmare Collective comes down. Okay, so you have like interference there with Mel and Kong. So Mel attacks Riho. Then you have, Chris take out Mel and Kong. Then Luther, it's revealed that the bald guy is Luther, comes out from the under the ring, and people were saying like, it's Deathmatch Luther. If I'm not doing a deep dive, I don't know who the hell that is. So like
he is a legend apparently. I have never seen a GIF. I ain't never seen no tweets. I ain't heard of this motherfucker in my whole life. But he a deathmatch legend? Come on, son.
And Cyrus is a deathmatch connoisseur, and he hasn't heard of him. Okay?
I've never seen this man in my life.
That's a tip off there, right? So all of this happens. They continue to try to have the match still. The crowd is completely taken out of it, even with Brandy coming down and like Kong attacking Chris. How is that not a DQ? I don't know, but
DQs don't happen in AEW. These refs are hot garbage, but everybody just loves Aubrey Edwards. So
I don't think Aubrey was not the ref here. It was a male ref.
They love the refs, so it's just like, it doesn't matter what goes on.
So Riho wins with interference from Kong. Chris and Riho look at each other like, what happened? And Riho's like, I'm sorry. It's another roll up win for Riho. Then the Nightmare Collective attacks Riho and Chris. Then Hikaru and Swole comes out. They attack the Nightmare Collective. Sonny Kiss comes down. I don't know. Maybe he's going to attack Luther. And then it cuts to Britt, who's just like, you know what?
In the crowd.
Yeah, like, forget it. I'm not helping anybody. This segment was way overbooked. It took away from the story that they were doing, how Chris was, like, they delayed Chris getting a title shot, and how it was great that she kept up her commitment, and, like, they were going to reward her. Riho wins in a roll-up again. This Brandy puts herself over. The Nightmare Collective, like, looms up. It was just way overbooked. How does this get anybody over? How does this get anybody over?
They had to do the Britt Baker in the crowd meme again, because that is just so funny,
But, like, what are you building up to there? Like, are you building up from Britt and Riho now? Because Riho got attacked by the Nightmare Collective. So now you're having this tag match next week with Mel and Kong, with Hikaru Shida and Chris. So, like, what does Riho do? Riho tweets out, I'm going back to Japan. And then
she got stuff to do, baby.
You know what I mean? Like, your champion's going back to Japan now. You have this huge logjam into this one kind of segment, and it doesn't really put anybody over in your women's division. This is why people are having a problem with it. You have all of this talent, and Big Swole comes down, and she's not in the tag match. This is crazy. You know what I mean? Like,
and Kenny said, "Hey, man, if you want a good women's division, just wait on it." Are you serious? Like, obviously, it doesn't have to be perfect, but Jesus Christ, it could be better than this. And Kenny Omega's just like, just chill out, guys. The good stuff is coming. Are you for real?
Kenny is tweeting, and somebody tweeted because he did an impromptu Q&A, and somebody tweeted to him about working with Tessa Blanchard. She's presumably going to be a free agent in the coming months after Impact finally gives her the world title. I mean, I'm guessing. You better get your house in order before you even make a run at her, because this is a mess. Like, everybody is complaining about how the women's division is booked. Everyone. Even, you know what I mean? Like, and spoilers, there's going to be a Nyla Rose, like, just, if you're going to watch AOL Dark next week, there's a Nyla Rose and Shayna segment. We haven't seen Shayna in how long? Like, you can't just have people missing, especially the people you're trying to get over. So I don't want to just be negative on AOW Dynamite, but this segment, man, like,
this segment broke a lot of people.
It broke a lot of it just read Twitter. It not only broke a lot of people in the show, people again are complaining about Brandy. Like, people went back to, she cut this great babyface promo, back when AOW was starting, and now heel, she's contradicting what she's saying, that she doesn't want to be a Stephanie McMahon. And she's definitely being what Stephanie used to be, kind of dominating this whole thing.
And, a lot of bearing and, like, just not like bearing, but like, not doing her best to make people look good. She's kind of like saying a lot of stuff that it's like on Twitter or whatever, negative stuff, and doesn't really make any of the women look good. I don't think that she should have brought up I don't like how she brought up Riho not being around, and then Britt Baker also did that, like drawing way too much attention to it. Like at least Brandy, what's up, like, chill out. And if that's going to be like a topic that's always brought up with Riho, that's always going to be an issue, then get it off Riho.
Well, it's like, are you trying to make Riho a heel here? Because, like, it seems like you're trying to make her vastly
people not like her.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I don't know what a heel Riho looks like, offensively or any other way. But I think that would be crazy if they turned her heel. But nah, man. AEW likes to listen to fans, but
I just think that it was just a big disservice to Chris.
I think the Nightmare Collective is a big stain on AEW. I think a lot of the factions are, but
a lot of cult factions.
And like, yeah, and I'll bring up something later about something else they said when AEW was first starting.
So we went over the bad, just to kind of go over some good stuff a little bit. I thought Best Friends of Jurassic Express was fun. I thought that they accentuated Orange Cassidy here.
Which is fantastic.
I did, Jungle Boy, Marco Stunt. They actually used him the best. I think that they have here. You know what I mean? Like, even though it was kind of funny that the ref kind of threw Marco Stunt over.
Marco Stunt interfered. The ref said, "Hey, yo, get out of here," and launched him like 30 feet back into his corner. I was like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I thought that That match was fun. Lucha Brothers and Destin and Cody was cool. Even though I'm not really sure what they're doing with Lucha Brothers. Like, they seem like they're kind of aimless.
Yeah. They're eating pins and, just filling the spot.
So, you mentioned this to me, just to kind of go off the Cody thing. Because Arn Anderson cut a promo here. And it was very old-timey Arn Anderson, like the good stuff, like the WCW stuff. Why do they have MJF come right out after Cody all the time?
Yeah, why does AEW do that? Why does Cody have a match and then MJF comes out after the commercial break when Cody is long gone asking for Cody?
Yeah, it's like, don't they kind of like walk past each other like backstage? Isn't that kind of awkward?
Like, are you not in the building when he's having a match? Like, you can easily interfere at any point in time or after the match. Like, I think like a couple weeks ago, like, when Darby Allin comes out to assist Cody or like, come out to confront Cody, like, you could have came out at any point in time while Cody was just in the ring, just like, damn, I can't believe I lost. Why didn't I book myself to win? Like, you could have come out at any point in time, but it's just like, have to wait through commercial break. I want Cody, blah blah blah, this and that, and I'm just like, all right, bro. Like, it don't make no sense to me.
Let's jump into MJF's promo. DDP comes out. Now, I just want to preface this that I think that DDP looks great for a 63-year-old. I didn't even know he was 60. I didn't even know that he was that old. DDP, yoga, what he put over, has been working for a lot of wrestlers. It has been. Mm-hmm. It's weird because Butcher and Blade comes out, and he hits them both with a diamond cutter before MJF kind of low blows him. I know that you were not a fan of this segment because if DDP was involved.
Well, there's a lot of factors into why I didn't like this.
So go into it. I didn't with the show. Okay. I don't want it to seem like we're piling on. Like I said, I'm trying to give constructive criticism, but why didn't you? I feel like we are on the same page as why DDP.
Well, people like DDP, like just people on the internet like DDP, like they love Arn Anderson. I just think that DDP coming out there plugging all his stuff, his yoga, his Twitter, his Instagram, I thought that was shameless. Like, come on, son, that was a little ridiculous. When he came out, I instantly went to Google to check his age. You're 63 years old. He comes out, gets assaulted by, Butcher and Blade, handles both of them by himself. They already lost to Cody and Darby Allin, and then they get bodied by Dolo by this old dude. That hurts. It might not be a big deal for some people, but that does hurt them in a sense. I think Butcher the Blade. I know one of them is kind of super old. I think Andy Williams is kind of up there in age, but come on, son. And then Warlow not getting his hands dirty at all. I don't know why. That doesn't really bother me too much, but it's just MJF being no, Warlow, you can't, don't even bother touching him, and then low blowing him. I was just all right, it is what it is. MJF says he's gonna smash DDP's daughter after he beats him next week.
Well, that's
I guess, man.
That's edgy MJF.
Yeah.
The Wardlow thing, I didn't have a problem with because I think that you have Wardlow be physical when he faces Cody. That's fine for me. I just think AOW is trying to do a mix between veterans and new people, but I think that's extinguishing kind of the new ilk that they're trying to do. Because you already have Arn Anderson. I think Arn Anderson being in his position is fine. But I think that, DDP saying, all right, I'm looking for one more match. And then, next week they're having MJF, Butcher and Blade versus
on television.
Dustin, QT Marshall, and DDP. It's like, well, MJF and Butcher Blade have to win here, right? Because if you want Butcher and Blade to kind of be these, brooding handymen of MJF, they have to start getting wins, and I think that's the issue that I have kind of with ALW. There's a lot of people eating pens, and there's a point where the new car smell is going to come off on some of the talent, and it's going to hurt.
It's already off. But also, I failed to mention that Dustin comes out, who just had a match previously before, but Cody can't come out when his good friend DDP is getting beat up.
Well, he can't touch MJF.
Well, he could touch everybody else, or at least MJF wants him. So I think as soon as he would have came out, they probably would have stopped beating up DDP. But God knows when Cody is gonna accept his 10 lashes in his match versus Wardlow.
Well, next week Arn did say that he would answer and say that if he would accept the stipulations. And I mean, are you still?
What was the point of MJF even coming out?
Well, to do the promo and I guess to set the matchup for next week.
I guess, man. He could have just did nothing because I don't want to see MJF wrestle.
Well, real quick, you had Sammy Guevara and Chris Daniels. They really are playing up that Chris Daniels is losing a step.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
I do like that too. I think that's a really good storyline that they're going with. Dark Order comes out, and they offer him a spot because obviously, they're playing up the botch that he had. It was a little weird thing in the match where, Pentagon comes out and taunts Chris Daniels and he takes the eye off the ball and Sammy gets the win. But they think...
Sammy lost here.
Yeah, Sammy won.
Sammy won?
Yeah, Sammy won. And so they offer him a spot in Dark Order. Then they beat him up. And then SCU and the Young Bucks come and kind of run off Dark Order.
Wait. This match was weird because Pentagon Jr. comes out and then Dark Order comes out.
Yeah.
And I was just like, okay, man.
So they're trying to play up that Chris Daniels and Pentagon still have this unfinished business, especially with the botch as taunting him. But then again, it was oh, by the way, Dark Order's here. You know what I mean? I like the storyline that they have there going with Chris Daniels, but it seemed like it was stacked on. You know what I mean?
Them trying to juggle multiple stories, and I think it's going. I do like this story. I don't think Dark Order really needed an inclusion in it. I think it could have just been Pentagon Jr. just taunting Christopher Daniels a lot, and then they could probably have a singles match because they are singles competitor. They are good singles competitors, and maybe Pentagon Jr. can get a win. But it's okay. I liked it. I like that they did something. With the botch, they're making the most of it.
Yeah. I think that's the best thing that, you know what I mean? Like, if they're going to be meta, then that's the best usage that they can do. And it's not on being the elite. You know what I mean? Like, it's actually on the actual show.
Yeah, thank God. Story important stuff being on being the elite is like ridiculous. Like, come on, like you guys have AEW Dark to like develop stories and like, you know, do extra stuff.
Yeah, like put that on there, you know. Real quick, because we got a lot of NXT stuff to go. Mox and Jericho and Mox possibly joining the. Oh man, like, did you not see this coming? First off, Mox looked tired. All right, he was in Japan.
Yes.
He was in Japan for New Year's Dash, kind of getting his comeuppance against Suzuki. I thought that this ending segment of him joining the Inner Circle was very WCW Nitro-ish. It reminded me of basically when Stone Cold he said that he was going to be the corporate champion, and he wore the suit out there, and he ended up turning on Vince McMahon.
He didn't wear the Gucci shoes.
That, and it reminded me of both when they said he was going to join the NWO and he didn't, and when Sting was going to join NWO Black and White, and they ended up wearing the NWO Wolfpack shirt here. Obviously, it was going to be a swerve, and Mox was going to turn on Jericho here. Now, it was long. It was a long segment too, because I'm like, wow, they are celebrating a long time here.
Moxley was just like, man, $1 million for a 4GT. Cap. Cracked him with the bottle. Beat his ass.
Jericho said that 4GT was worth $750,000. That is Shad Khan's 4GT.
And he also said it was worth millions, and it was super expensive. One of the most expensive sports cars in America. And I was just like, all right, bro, you got it.
Extreme cap. Yeah. So this sets up, you know, Mox and Jericho having a program in AOW. You know,
finally.
Yeah, like we saw it coming. Like they were teasing it for long enough. Before we move on here, Hangman and Kenny versus Private Party. What are your quick thoughts on that? This is the first time that we've seen Private Party since December 18th in AOW Dark. Everybody is raving about Private Party and how good they are. And even commentary was talking about them getting an upset over the Young Bucks, but we don't see them.
Yeah.
Hangman and Kenny get the win here.
I don't get it. Yeah, Private Party look good here. I wonder when the Omega and Page stuff reaches his boiling point, because there was like a misstep here where Kenny Omega, I think he flips Cassidy and then he hits Hangman Page. I think Page might be drunk, but I guess he understands when accidents happen, I guess. I don't know, like it's boiling up there, but like I guess there's like they don't want to pull the trigger on it yet.
Because you still have Private.
I'm just glad Private Party's here at this point, because I'm tired of seeing the Lucha Bros lose every week. I don't think Private Party should have lost here. They probably should have won, and then that kind of like sets off the feud. Also, I think this match happening over Hangman Page saying their party sucks and touching their drinks. Yeah, they got to fight somehow.
And then him going into the crowd after the match and drinking a beer.
He saw that clip where Meltzer and Bryan are going at it, and then Dave tries to swerve, and he was just like, yeah, Hangman Page goes out there and drinks a beer with the crowd. I thought that was really cool. And then I just think back about like You know what's cooler? When Street Profits won their first match against the OC, and then Montez Ford did the little thing with the baby, like
Yeah.
that was like kind of cooler.
Yeah, now trying to play up like, you know, Hangman could possibly be an alcoholic, you know?
Yeah, I don't want to take it that far, but I'm not a big fan of like, you know.
Well, there. I mean,
whole,
like even like
drinking thing.
I think. Well, even you know, the
Like-
captions, and I think the new shirt says that like he drinks a lot. Like they're playing that up. I'm like, all right, like this is what Hangman is. Like this is what you're doing with Hangman.
This some cowboy shit, bro. Drinking on the job.
So I mean, that was AEW Dynamite. Let's move into NXT because we have a lot to talk about there.
A lot is going on over there.
So, Rhea Ripley, there was, if you had any doubt that there was depth to this NXT women's division, they kicked it off right off the bat with Rhea, Tony, and Candice versus Kaylee Ray, Io Shirai, and Bianca Belair. First off, we are getting Rhea Ripley versus Tony Storm for Worlds Collide.
And it might be for the UK women's title.
Everybody's loving two belts. We might actually have that. I don't think that's going to happen either.
Yeah.
I mean, I think. What'd you think about the 6-way?
I thought it was a really good match. Also, like the start of it is really great. Like, you know, you see how stacked this women division is, and promo for Blackpool coming through with Kaylee Ray and Toni Storm being there. I think that's I think it's fantastic. Some really good stuff here. Just a really good 6-man tag.
I thought that it was pretty cool that the first 3 women out were NXT UK. That really put over NXT UK as important, especially going into Blackpool. Everybody's gunning for Rhea. It was.
Yeah.
Did you find it weird that there was no Shayna? Like, did that feel weird to you?
I think that's okay. Usually, when a champion loses, they aren't on the show like the next show directly after. For NXT, so I'm kind of used to it at this point.
Well, I think she's done. I think that we're preparing to see her get ready for Royal Rumble, and to move on. I'm not really sure what's going on with her horsewomen cohorts.
Well, they're kind of treating Worlds Collide as kind of like a pay-per-view, because like they're doing a lot of build up to a lot of these matches, or just making it seem like a super big deal. So I think once World Collide happens, because we already have our Rhea Ripley match for Worlds Collide, so maybe there's a rematch at Portland.
Yeah, I think that could. Yeah, I think that could happen.
If there's no if it's not a rematch versus Shayna versus Rhea, then I do think Shayna's done.
Let's get into the Dusty Classic. We had Imperium versus Forgotten Sons. Forgotten Sons has new gear, thankfully.
Thank God.
I did not think that Imperium should have lost here. I thought that if you were going to have an NXT UK tag team to move on, it should be them. And I thought that was the right thing for them to win here. What did you think?
People need to stop playing with the Forgotten Sons. They're actually pretty nice.
They're good. They're good wrestlers. They really are.
Yeah. Like the whole they look MAGA or they look racist. Like that might be the case. With their old gear, with their Sons of Anarchy fit.
I'm glad that they finally
here,
changed that, so people can stop saying that, because there is no evidence that they're racist.
so far, like, you know, whatever, their views could be shaky or whatever, but I don't know, their gear here kind of like, I think it gets that stink off them. I hope, but I thought Imperial was really good here. I think it was good for them to win. Forgotten Sons made it far last year, but I think they're okay losing first round here.
So Undisputed Era and Gallus was the second match. I was not high on this match. I think that Fish and O'Reilly did as much as they could. It's just that with Gallus and Joe Coffey and Wolfgang, their styles do not gel. They're bigger guys. It didn't really. They're slower, kind of. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't think. It wasn't the best Undisputed Era match to me, even though they tried to do as much as they could.
Yeah, not the best Undisputed Era match. I'm not too high on Gallus. I just like Joe Coffey.
Correction! It's Mark Coffey, his brother. Is not sure.
Yeah, I like Joe Coffey a lot. Rooting for him to win at Blackpool. I don't know. I'm not because like Undisputed Era versus the Revival is like still like high on like, you know, like it's still in my mind like that match was hard. So for them to come back with this match, it's kind of like meh.
Just a little tip.
Also,
go ahead.
And I actually don't like Wolfgang at all. I don't think he's a cool guy.
Little tidbit. Kushida has a partner, and it is Alex Shelley. Time Splitters are back, and they will be fighting Grizzled Young Vets next week. How do you...
I think it's crazy how they were announcing Alex Shelley, and then the Nightmare Collective thing was happening in AEW. And then my timeline was just like, oh my God, Alex Shelley, motherfucking Time Splitters back. Like, everybody's like crazy about Time Splitters.
So, we touched on Austin Theory and Walking Wild at the beginning of the show. Like I said, like... Good match. Like, good short match. If you wanted to showcase some new up-and-coming talent, I like that NXT sprinkled that into the episode this week. The Gargano and Finn promo. I saw a lot of people saying, like, this is the same old promo from Gargano. He basically said, like, Finn, you know, abandoned NXT. He turned down the opportunity to move to Raw or SmackDown, and the brand has left him behind.
Let's keep it a buck, bro. You got the call up as soon as your partner got hurt. They were just like, oh, there's not me. And they just set his ass back down. Like, shut up. Like, as soon as you got the call, you was in catering, chopping it up with Zack Ryder, bro. Like, get out of here. I thought it was weird that the crowd booed Gargano here. Like, I thought that was really weird. I thought it was a good promo for the start. I think Gargano just being like, you know, I'm NXT now. Like, you know, I thought that was cool, but I think him mentioning the main roster stuff was kind of whatever. Because like, you got sent back to NXT because Ciampa got hurt. Like, you would have probably still been up there, you know. I like that Finn came out and kept it short, you know, announced the match and then keep it pushing.
Yeah, it's excuse me. It's, you know, the battle between NXT past and present. You know what I mean? Like, Finn was Mr. NXT. He kind of like that next generation. You put it on the map, and then like if you look at Johnny Gargano, he's Mr. Takeover. You know what I mean? Like yeah. I'm excited for this match. I'm excited for this this feud and see how it unravels, because like if you saw how they brutalized each other, like Gargano was on the shelf for a while, you know what I mean? Like, because of this. So
I'm excited for the match, but like, why did the crowd boo Johnny?
Dude, I think that Full Sail really has a love-hate relationship with him for some reason.
Like, I don't get it. He's literally like one of the best wrestlers. One of the best wrestlers on the roster. Like,
so Chelsea Green. She was on Raw. She's been on Main Event. She made her debut. Finally, a lot of people were clamoring for it. Made her debut on NXT with Robert Stone, who is otherwise known as Robbie E. If you remember from Impact. She attacks Mia Yim. How do you feel about? How do you feel about? Chelsea Green's debut, because that I think that Deanna is coming too. I think.
I don't think so. I do think it's very funny that we always knew that VXT was a thing, like a really big thing, and then Deanna has her match with Asuka, and then she's not on Main Event after or anything. Chelsea Green has that very iffy match with Charlotte, and then she's like all over Main Event, and then she gets sent back down to NXT without Deanna. What happened? I don't know. I think it's weird what's going on there. Robbie Stone or Robert Stone. I think I'm with most people that is just like, hey man, where's Malcolm Bevins, bruh? That's who I really want to see.
Well, I think what they're trying to do here is they're trying to do those impact ties. Like, hey, like if you remember the few people that remember Robbie E, that character, and like Chelsea from being the Hot Mess Express, like, hey, let's pair them together because there's familiarity there. I think that, well, the VXT thing got derailed because Rachel Evers got hurt. Like, so she's rehabbing. Chelsea, Deanna, I don't know what they're going to do because Deanna's a great wrestler. Chelsea is...
But, like, Chelsea
fine.
Green got more use, or, like, got used more on her short call-up time.
Yeah, so... I don't know. I mean, it'd be cool to see, maybe have Mia and Kaylin go against, Chelsea and Deanna as a tag team and kind of like build a little bit like a tag team division there. But I don't know. I guess we'll have to just wait and see in what they do, how they kind of bring Chelsea into the whole NXT fold. I will say this: I do like that they're building a secondary feud in that women's division. See, it's a big log jam, kind of like for the women's title.
Oh well, like I don't really think it's a log jam because literally like anybody could be a contender for the title right now. But I do think it's weird that I don't think the Mia Yim and Dakota Kai feud is finished. Is it?
Well, I mean, it may have ended with Mia kind of doing that suplex into the table and giving Dakota Kai staple stitches.
Oh, okay. I guess I handled that. Like, Dakota Kai doesn't want to but probably crack her shit.
But then again, like with Dakota, that money matches with her and Tegan. So you gotta build that up. I'm not really sure. Like Dakota, again, she's another, piece in the cog who can be like, hey, like, I want to face Rhea Ripley too. You know what I mean? Like,
I think probably after Portland.
Yeah, because Tegan's been off TV since that attack, selling that attack, and then I think when you have Dakota, then you would bring in Tegan to oh my God, Tegan Knox is back, and she attacks Dakota, Yeah,
that can happen whenever. But yeah, there's something in the plans there, so I don't think there's necessarily a logjam.
To finish up this NXT episode, we had the Fatal 4-Way, for the number one contendership for the NXT North American title. Keith Lee, Cameron Grimes, Dominic Dijakovic, and Damian Priest. I did like it. They did vignettes throughout the episode introducing each man. Everybody's like, that was the first time I've heard Damian Priest speak.
Hold on. Who you think had the best vignette out of the four?
I do think Dom was the funniest.
Yeah, I thought it was. I do think it was funny with him just like saying words and then like shadow boxing.
Yeah.
I think Cameron Grimes one was a little weird to me. But Damian Priest had the best one because he had some bitches around. You feel me? Like my man finally got some swag on him.
Well, I mean, like Damian Priest sounds like a Devil May Cry character to me. It just seems like he would be hanging out with Dante or something like that, I think.
Oh, that's fire, bro.
I was just like, oh man, like this dude is gonna be a villain in like some vampire movie. The cool like Blade villain, I think.
That's hard, bro.
With the match, I think that everybody shined here. Like I said, like I've said that we said in episodes past, that NXT does a very good job in showcasing everybody in these multi-man or multi-women matches. Keith Lee, right call.
Oh, absolutely.
Right call. He did pin Roddy before, so it makes sense that he goes on and he's going to fight for the NXT North American title. I think that he should win it. I think that it's time.
Absolutely.
I think it's time as we go into April. I think it's time that the Undisputed Era start. They have to start losing titles here. Like,
yeah. We're getting Undisputed Era versus Imperium during Worlds Collide, and honestly, I don't think the North American title really needs to be present during that match. I just think the NXT title and the NXT UK title probably should be the only thing still present. But the Dusty Classic finals isn't happening anytime soon, so Undisputed will still have the tag titles during that time. But like the North American title doesn't really need to be there.
All right. To end our episode, we're going to give our NXT UK Takeover Blackpool 2 predictions real fast. We'll just run down the card.
Before we start, did you NXT UK didn't have an episode this week, but they had like a really good 40-minute long like video package for the pay-per-view?
Yes.
I think it's like called Prime Target.
Prime Target, yeah. They've done this before, especially with Walter and Tyler Bay, which I thought was amazing.
Okay, they did this before. I thought this whole thing was like fire, like this like documentary type thing going on. I thought it was amazing. Also, I didn't have to like, actually like sit through an episode of wrestling. They just tackled all the matches that are happening and how people like feel about it, and I think I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah, especially with the history between Kaylee Ray, Piper Niven, and Toni Storm. I thought that was really well done.
I thought the Joe Coffey stuff was done really well, because remember Joe Coffey had the match with Pete Dunne. That was a big moment for him. Walter comes out, bitches him out with the one forearm, and then he's instantly forgotten. Instantly becomes like an afterthought after like having this big title match, and then Walter debuting. That really messing with his head. Like I thought that was like, I thought that was really good motivations for the match. Walter, hey, chill out, bro. Man's sounded wild problematic while talking about Scottish heritage and Scottish people.
He did that with UK wrestling too, with Tyler.
Hey.
Walter does not think highly of any other kind of wrestling,
other culture but his own.
But his own. He's very, you know what I mean. So real quick, we'll run down the card. Tyler Bate versus Jordan Devlin.
Jordan Devlin.
I'm also going to go with Jordan Devlin. I mean, you could go, if Walter wins, you could go Tyler, Walter 2, but I think that Jordan, I mean, I said this last year, I think Jordan is going to be the guy that I think that is going to dethrone Walter. I'm a huge fan of his, so I'm going to go Jordan Devlin 2. Trent Seven versus Eddie Dennis.
Trent Seven. I don't, not really familiar with Eddie Dennis. Actually, you know, I'll change. Actually, I'll go with Eddie Dennis. With the video package, it seems like you know, Trent Seven is the Cassius Ohno type, so you know, they'll probably let him get the win over.
I am also going to go with Eddie Dennis. I think that, you know, British Strong Style go 0 for 2 in this this whole card, which, I mean, like, they're the stewards of NXT UK. I don't think that at this point that they should. I don't think that they should win all the, you know what I mean, all the time. If you want to get over talent there, like, I think they should lose.
Also, like, you can heat up Tyler Bate anytime.
Absolutely.
I don't think Trent Seven. I don't really think Trent Seven like desperately needs wins. So I think he'll be okay with a loss here. Especially
if you want to do something where worlds collide with them, you know what I mean, you could always have that option as well. So Kaylee Ray, Piper Niven, and Toni Storm for the NXT UK Women's title. Who do you got?
I definitely think it should be Kaylee Ray. She's an asshole, bro.
Told you, man. I sing the highest of praises of Kaylee Ray.
You know, I think if NXT UK was, you know, watched as much as NXT was, I think Kaylee Ray would be in the same conversation as Shayna Baszler as just like a really good heel. I don't know if they're going to have the you know, the money match at Worlds Collide with Toni Storm and Rhea Ripley for the double titles. I hope not. So let's chill out with the double title thing. They can still have the match and it will be fine. But I think Kaylee Ray takes it here. Toni Storm doesn't need to be a double champ. I mean,
Toni 2-time?
A 2-time. Yeah, she doesn't need to be 2-time or Toni 2 belts. So
I'm also going to agree with you there that I think Kaylee Ray retains. You know what I mean? I don't think that you take the belt off of her just yet. As you're moving Toni more towards the NXT side, I don't think that she needs to like regain the title just yet. I think that Piper should get that spot, or you know, I wouldn't say Jenny because it seems like they're teasing a Jenny split right now with
Jenny doing other shit. She's Progress Women's Champion. She's doing a lot of stuff on the Indies right now, so they're probably just gonna dial it back with her. Let Piper Niven stay at the top, and so she can get a singles match with Kaylee Ray, and then she'll probably take it then.
Yeah.
I think that's a good way to go with that. Or, you know, she could lose again. It don't really matter.
So we got Gallus, Imperium, Grizzled Young Vets, and South Wales Subculture in a 4-way ladder match for the NXT UK tag titles.
Anybody but Gallus. I'll probably go with South Wales Subculture. I think what's his name? Mark Andrews and Flash Morgan Webster are two fantastic wrestlers. I also think Zap Gibson and Joe Coffey. No, it's not Joe Coffey. Who's the second one on Grizzly Young Vets? I'm sorry, I'm blanking out.
It's all good. It is.
I know it's Joe something. Joseph Connors.
It's James Drake. It's James Drake and Zach Gibson.
Oh, who's Dang,
Joseph Connors is a singles guy. James Drake and Zach Gibson are young Grizzle vets. I'm a big fan of.
Thought I had it.
It's all good. Big fan of theirs. I'm a huge fan of theirs.
But yeah, literally anybody but Gallus here. Not a big fan of them.
I'm gonna go with Imperium. I think that Eichner and Barthel should win here.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be Grizzle Young Vets. Get the 2-time belts, but I'm gonna go with Imperium. I thought that they are long overdue for a tag team title run over there.
I just don't want it to be like a rehash of Undisputed Era where they have all the gold,
Well, they might do that going up to Worlds Collide. So like right. So gold versus gold. Even though I have no idea who's gonna go over there. I don't know how you book that.
That match, the ring explodes.
And finally, we have Walter versus Joe Coffey for the NXT UK men's title. Not the recovered men's title. I would given,
Oh, come on. You ain't got to bring that. Hey, man. Whoever stole Walter's stuff, you a bitch, bro. Give it back.
So, yeah. Who do you think is going to win here?
Walter, without a doubt. But I think Joe Coffey is going to show out, hopefully.
I think that Walter is going to win. I think also too. I think that you're going to either heat up Jordan Devlin or Tyler Bate again in order for him to lose that title, but I don't think he loses here. It's going to be a big house battle. Please do not make this 40 minutes. It does not need to be a 40-minute match.
Give that time to the ladder match or to the women, please.
Remember that?
I swear to God.
Remember that Pete Dunne Joe Coffey match? That was way too long.
That went way too long, and they kind of like botched the finish, which was crazy. And then I think Pete Dunne versus Walter also going crazy. Like I don't think Walter should be going up to the top rope to having to seal the deal. Like he's already like a really huge dude. So it is what it is. Walter takes it here without a doubt. Please don't go 40 minutes. I don't have that much time on a Sunday.
So that is our predictions, and also that is our show for this week. As always, you can follow us at the illustrious RNC Radio Live. We are kicking off the 2020 year. We have plenty of treats for you. We got, of course, the new episode of the A Show. We got a new episode of Chatting with Nelson, where he talks to YC, which is it was a really good conversation. Everybody go check that out. We got a first new episode of the Big Eyes podcast with Jamal. And we also have a new episode of RSBN, where they talk about the Kevin Love drama.
Kevin Love can't show a little emotion, bruh. You really gonna find a dude for being mad? Like, come on, son. NBA whack.
And especially with that Cavs team. Like, I would be pissed too.
That's a little wild to me. But before we sign off, there's some other World Collide news where Finn Balor will be going up against Ilja Dragunov.
That's going to be a great match. Great match.
And then Toni Storm versus Rhea Ripley. But those are two matches announced. So Worlds Collide is looking must see. I don't know why they didn't announce these matches before. Because those Travis Bank matches did not move me at all, son.
Oh, before we get out of here, Bash at the Beach, Miami.
Oh,
I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to put you on the spot here. Are you going to see?
I'm buying my ticket after this and after I upload the episode.
So
I'm trying to find somebody to go with me, but I might have to go alone.
Chris Statlander and Hikaru Shida versus Mel and Awesome Kong. You also have Pac versus Darby Allin, and you have DDP, QT Marshall, and Dustin Rhodes. Yes, the Old Men Collective versus MJF and Butcher and Blade. And then you also have Sammy Guevara versus John Moxley.
You know what it is. If you see me, it's Cyrus with Bubba Kush lighting up to enter AEW, baby.
So there you have it, everybody. We're going to have, next week, we're going to have a live report of the war report of Cyrus's time at Bash at the Beach. Thank you for joining us every single week. We will talk to you soon, especially talking about NXT Blackpool 2. And I'm very interested to hear what Cyrus says next week.
Oh man, stay tuned, man. I hope it should be a good atmosphere, really good people, but that's all I got. I'm sorry, I can't fake it. I just hope I'm just hoping to have a good time.
Maybe we'll see you when Mox comes through the crowd. Maybe we'll see you.
Oh, I'll be the dude in the back brace.
All right, everybody, come back next week.